Welcome to the Environmental Science online lecture for spring 2018. I'm going to just briefly kind of walk you through the course in D2L, and we're going to take a look at everything so that you can kind of see where we are in case you have any questions. Most of you are probably going to be familiar with everything, but let's kind of start from the beginning. This is what your beginning course structure will look like, and it says, welcome, even though it is spring semester. Yes, it's still very cold outside. What I want you to first do is complete the introductory module at the beginning of the course. Look through the syllabus, take the quiz, the discussion board, and then watch this video. So if you peruse up here to content, you will find an introduction. This is the introductory kind of module or folder. You will take the introduction quiz. You will complete the introduction discussion board. And then I want you to have gone through the syllabus. You should probably start here going through the syllabus first. It kind of goes through telling us that this is 130, 351 course. This is a 3-hour course. Spring 18. It kind of goes through how to contact me here. joden1@jccc is the best email. I am also in SCI 209B, but I am not on campus unless I have a course or we have something prearranged, as I am an adjunct professor. So the rest of this goes through and kind of gives a little bit about me, just to kind of get to know me. Again, the course description then, going through the textbook. We'll cover the textbook and access to it here in a moment. There is a link here on here if you've purchased the electronic version that you can have access to it. Going through talking about what the class focuses on. It also talks a little bit about the lab in here because I teach the lab as well. But they are not paired together, so you will not be having to do lab stuff unless you're enrolled in the lab, and that's something separate. But environmental science, we will also focus on these ecological and environmental principles and problems in this class. This is an introductory course meant for transfer. The ratio is something that we all have to put in here, but everyone studies differently, so you know you and how much time you need to spend. The next part is the course objectives that we have to go through. Then it goes through the course outline. These are all just the course competencies for when you do transfer. This course seamlessly transfers. And as we continue to go through these things, is there an attendance policy? This is a good question. Yes. All students must complete the Getting Started Introductory quiz in the introduction folder. And it says within the first 2 weeks, but it has a due date of next Monday. You have to complete that by next Monday or you will be dropped from the course. You have to complete it, and you have to complete that introduction discussion board. Those are both right here in the introduction module. Student attendance then. Keeping up with your work, there are things due in this course every week, whether it be a discussion board, whether it be a quiz, different things like that. There will also be videos just like this posted of the modules of me going through the presentations a little bit with you. They are not mandatory that you watch. They are just meant for extra help for you, so you may watch them as they go along. They will be posted as we go along throughout the semester. They will be available to you throughout the entire semester. It does, you participating in the regularly scheduled classes and the feedbacks and the discussions and doing it regularly, not bunching it all up and doing it at once. If you miss more than 40% of the points available in the semester, then you are probably not going to, you're not going to pass the class because we have a grading scale of 90, 80, 70, 60. I do round up from 89.5, obviously. The way you are graded is you'll be tested. There are 4 different exams, 3-unit exams, and a comprehensive final. We have reading materials. There are a couple of videos that we have in here. Lots of discussions that we will do. Assignments, quizzes, projects, little short research papers that you'll have to do. There are a couple of those. One coming up here shortly. The exam policy is there's 3 exams and a comprehensive final. They are offered online. You can request them to be put in the testing center for you if you wish to do them paper, pencil, in person. I just need to know ahead of time if that's going to be. Again, we talk about lab stuff. That doesn't apply to you in this course. It does for my lab courses, but you are in a lecture course. Short answer essays will all be evaluated. They will be evaluated for grammar, for spelling, as well as for content. So please make sure you spend the time that is necessary for them. The questions on the exams will all be short answer or essay style questions. So please make sure that you answer them accordingly. The short answers you can actually just do as listings and so on. You do not have to do the complete sentences and things like that on short answers. The longer answers and or essay style, I do require that you do that. This is an online class. Sometimes it's difficult to establish that continuity, so we do need to communicate on a regular basis. I will make postings at least at the beginning of each module saying when and what is due. As we start to go through the modules, that will become a little more apparent with several of the things. This is kind of some deadlines for the course. If you wish to drop the course with a full refund, you need to do so by next Tuesday, which is the 23rd. The last day to drop without a refund and without a W on your transcript is February 12th. And that needs to be done by 11 p.m., but make sure you do that sooner, making sure if you're doing it in person, the campuses, most of the offices close at 5 p.m. The last day to withdraw with no refund, but you get a W, or to put the course on pass-fail, is April 16th. This is an online course. Even though it is online, we do not have any assignments due over spring break. So that is something to keep in mind. Even though it's online, you do not have anything for spring break. Even though we are not on campus, I do have some of the weapons policy, the concealed carry policy, emergency response policies, everything like that on here. That happens to be in case you do happen to be on campus, even though this is an online class. They're still kind of important. The course dates and deadlines. We have 3 modules in this course. The first module will cover chapters 1 through 4, and then 6 and 7. We'll talk about the basics of science. We'll talk about science cycles, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, phosphorus cycle, water cycle. We'll talk about scientific literature. We will talk about some human population, and population biology. That exam will be on the 19th of February. Module 2 is chapter 5, then 8 through 14. That's all about biodiversity. We will talk also about some human population issues in there. We'll also talk about food, agriculture, biodiversity, extinction, a variety of different things in there. That exam is after spring break on March 26th. Module 3, chapters 15 through 21 and 24. We will talk about pollution, we'll talk about energy, and we'll talk about law. That exam will be on May 9th. Then there's a final comprehensive exam that is 4 essay-style questions. That will be due on May 16th. Sustainability will be a common theme throughout this, and we will focus on a lot of local discussions as well as a global perspective. Above all, remember that life does happen, so dates, times are all subject matter could change if unforeseen circumstances come up, weather, school closings, etc. When I talk about school closings, if the college is closed, your online assignments are still due that day, just to be clear about that. But I understand that life can get in the way. Some things may happen. For example, you may have a power outage on the day a test is due and you can't get on the internet, you can't do something. Please just try to explain that to me as quickly as possible afterwards. If an assignment is more than 1 week late, you need to check with me of whether you can do it for reduced credit. I do accept late assignments, but you do have a reduced amount of points that you are eligible to receive. Exams that are more than 1 week late cannot be completed. They have to be completed within 1 week of them being due. And also, they need to be done on the due date unless you previously tell me there's a reason that you cannot. So you have to set that up beforehand. Do not email me the day after and say, I missed the exam. Do I have a week to take it? That is not the case. The exams are open for an extended period of time beforehand. You can always take an exam early. So keep that in mind. You can submit assignments early. You can take exams early. I just don't want you working way ahead of time. Stick to the module that we are on. So keep that in mind. So then that takes us to the modules as we go here. We already kind of looked through the introductory module. So please complete those before you move on, watching this video and then doing the introductory quiz and introduction discussion board. The modules that we have here, everything has a due date associated with it. Pay attention, just because it's the first thing listed may not mean it is the first thing due. Some of the first things that we have due in Module 1 here, as you can see with all of the dates, one of the first things that you have to do is a discussion board called Biomass Burning. It's right here. You click on this discussion board, but here's the article you can read. So please read the article. Keep your response, it says, to a couple of paragraphs whenever you post your discussion board. So you will come in here, click on it like this. You will start a new thread, and you will write what you wish to do, what your response is to that. As we move back to this module, you can go down here and see that then you have a person of interest paper due. You are to pick a person that has influenced environmental science. It can be good or bad. You're to chronicle this influence, and this is a 25-point assignment. You put your response in this Dropbox in typically Microsoft Word format. However, you can copy and paste directly in. So you can add an attachment, or you can copy and paste your material directly in. Either one works. As we go back again to Module 1, then you can see the rest of the things that you have due. There are quizzes, so you have quiz 1 due on the same day that you have a polar bear discussion due. This is the polar bear article you will read. There's the discussion about it. We will then get into some population biology. You'll have a deer discussion. You have quiz 2 due on February 14th. I apologize, you can do it early for you Valentine's Day fans. And then we have exam module 1, which is due January 24th. That is the wrong date. So we're going to click on that. We're going to change that now. That should read February 19th. So that has now been updated to February 19th. I apologize for some of you who may have caught that early. Also, we'll publish that. So now you can see the person of interest. So everything's been fixed. I'm glad I went through this. I'm not going to go through the other 2 modules, but you should have the hang of it by then. You'll have Module 2, Module 3, and then the final. So you have all of those. Now, I mentioned online course access. You can click right here for online course access. You can click here. And if you have a code, this takes you to McGraw-Hill. If you purchased only the electronic version of the book, you can access it right here. I believe you can also access it right here on the home page. It says this course is paired, so you can select it right over here, and it is paired with a content section. It is automatically linked here, so you can take a look at that. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me or contact me. Have a great semester. I will be posting videos with each module that goes through all of the PowerPoints. So if there's, they will each have individual videos that go with the PowerPoints, and there will be a link just like that. Thank you.